Good day and peaceful sky. Chronicle for December 14, 2022. Border territories of the Russian Federation. Ukrainian formations fired on the village of Zhuravlevka in the Belgorod region. There were no injuries or casualties. In the evening, air defense systems went off in the city of Klintsy in the Bryansk region. The remains of ammunition fell on power lines and disrupted the power supply in the village of Ardon, Starobelsk direction. There are no significant changes in the front line in this sector. There are positional battles in the area of Kuzemovka and Makeevka. Artillery duels continue. Soledar direction. Assault detachments of PMC Wagner are fighting on the eastern outskirts of Bakhmut in the industrial area and on the outskirts of the village. In the Bakhmut sector, Russian troops are fighting street battles in the east of the city. Intense clashes are taking place on Fyodor Maksimenko Street and on Pervomaisky Lane. Inexperienced, the Wagnerites are pushing through a powerful fortified area in the village. The Ukrainian military is trying to hold back the advance on Shkolnaya Street by setting up strongholds in houses. Also, units of the RF armed forces are advancing northeast of Bakhmut, approaching the positions of Ukrainian soldiers in Podgorod NY. To curb progress in the north, engineering and sapper groups blew up a railway overpass over a highway on the northern outskirts of Bakhmut. In addition, the Ukrainian command responsible for the Kuzemovka New York line decided to blow up the dam in the Ozaryanivka area by carrying out sabotage. In the vicinity of Bakhmut, a counteroffensive of the armed forces of Ukraine is planned. For this purpose, mobilized people without heavy armored vehicles are being transferred to the area of the city and Chasov Yar. In the Soledar sector, units of the RF armed forces established control over a platoon stronghold on the outskirts of Soledar. In the Lysychansk sector, positional battles continue in the Belgorod area. Donetsk direction. In the Donetsk direction, the Ukrainian command is transferring reserves to various sectors of the front, trying to contain the offensive of the Russian troops. In the vicinity of Toretsk, crews of manpads and ATGMs arrived to reinforce the positions of the 5th Separate Assault Regiment. Fortifications are being installed in the New York area. In the Avdiivsky sector, units of the 59th Brigade are trying to hold back the advance of Russian troops in the area of Paysyok and Pervomaisky. During the storming of the stronghold in Pervomaisky by the Russian armed forces, a group of Ukrainian fighters was taken prisoner. Calculations of cannon and self-propelled artillery are indiscriminately shelling the Donetsk agglomeration, the purpose of which is civilian infrastructure. At the same time, high-precision M982X caliber projectiles are periodically used. During their use, the armed forces of Ukraine suspend the operation of all means of electronic warfare. Fighting continues in the center of the city in the Mariinsky sector. Russian troops occupied the highway in the direction of Krasnogorovka, cutting off the city's supply line. Mutual shelling is going on in the Ugliter sector. Small UAVs are operating along the line of contact, and observation posts have been set up at forward positions. There are no significant changes in the Bolshaya Novoselka direction. After an unsuccessful attempt to storm the Ukrainian positions, the RF armed forces went on the defensive. Zaporozhye direction. Russian rocket troops and artillery carried out several attacks on the objects of the armed forces of Ukraine in Zaporozhye, Gulyapol, and Olyovsky. Southern front, Kherson direction. Artillery duels continue on the southern sector of the front. The Russian armed forces worked on targets in Kherson, hitting the administration building and warehouses, while Ukrainian formations fired at a recreation center in Lazerny. See you later. Take care of yourself.